Hi.
What are you doing?
About to eat
What are we eating?
garlic knots.
Pizza.
Palace Pizza.
We don't live in Tampa anymore.
That's correct.
We live outside of Tampa. It's been super busy. And we'll talk about that later.
Yep.
Right now, we're going to eat.
Yum.
Thank you.
Hey everyone.
So, we know we have not been on YouTube in a while. I'm wearing my hair curly tonight. We are headed out on a date night alone, which has become a much more regular occurrence. Do it again. So, okay, so, gosh, what has happened? It's been a year. It's been a year since we were on YouTube. Okay, so we moved out of that house, the first house we bought in Florida. We sold that house before we moved out of it, and then we were looking for another place to buy, and we had trouble. Did you just see that lightning? Anyways, we had trouble finding some place in the area we thought we wanted to be, and so we started renting, and that went good for like 2 months.
Yeah.
And then they went crazy.
Yep.
So that brings us to May. And in May, I decided I was going to Disney World one night by myself during the week. And I got in a car accident on the way back. And it was a very bad car accident. And it totaled our blue car, our blue van that I drive. And I've been recovering from that. Of course, as soon as I got my cast taken off, because I broke my ankle, my right ankle, as soon as I got my cast taken off, about 1 week later, I broke my left ankle. And I broke that one.
Best luck in the world.
Yeah, and I broke that one in 3 places. And so they told me it would be 4 to 6 screws and a metal plate, and I ended up with 12 screws and a metal plate in my left foot. We're still settling with insurance and all that, because what happened was I had like a dizzy spell, like a post-concussion dizzy spell, and that's when I fell. And, excuse me, and so it's all related to the car accident. I am wearing LuLaRoe. So we opened our own LuLaRoe boutique, and that's been fun. We are like right on the cusp of really huge things with LuLaRoe.
So you told them about you were doing a timeline. You told them about the car accident, but
Oh yeah, we had to buy a house, another house, because first of all, our rental people went crazy.
by going crazy, she means they didn't want to fix anything they told us they were going to fix when we originally signed the lease.
All of that.
It was just bananas, and then it was also we were having issues because it was a 2-level and with broken ankles.
I wasn't allowed to do the stairs when I was in my cast because I was on crutches. I wasn't in a walking boot for like 6 weeks, and all of our bathroom showers and all of that were upstairs. So the only way I could get to the shower was if I crawled, and it made Brandon nervous for me to do it when he wasn't home, and it was just this big long thing. But we ended up buying a house about an hour away from where we were.
Out of the country. Which we love.
We absolutely love it. So now we are in between Tampa and Orlando, and it is an hour to Disney World, which doesn't hurt our feelings in the least bit. We have friends in the area from friends I went to high school with are here, and we had found a church out here before we moved out here. We tried a church, and we loved it, and so that just kind of solidified that we were going to do it. Brandon has a bear of a commute right now at an hour and a half Monday through Thursday and close to 2 hours on Friday, but we are still working on that. Looks like I have no hair. So we were on date night. We went out to dinner, and then we are headed to a massage.
Yep.
Because we're tired. I've worked about 20 hours in the last 2 days.
So yeah, she's been working on all the LuLaRoe stuff. I've been finishing up my end of month stuff at my corporate job. But that talks about, she talked about she's wearing LuLaRoe. It's the most comfortable clothing
Ever.
imaginable. So it's pretty much 100% of what she wears at this point. But you can tell more about just starting the business and all that stuff if you want.
Okay, so we started the business. We signed on in July, and we went into what they call a queue. And my hair is doing crazy things. Anyways, we went into a queue, and then it was basically like a waiting list. And we got our call in August, the first week of August, and we bought our inventory. You don't pay anything to actually sell LuLaRoe. You buy your own inventory at wholesale. And so we bought that package, and it came to us like within a week. We were not ready because I had broken my left ankle in between when we signed up and when we got our call. So I still had surgery and recovery and all of that to go through. So we did it, and obviously because my ankle's been broken, I haven't been able to walk, and I haven't been able to, really get out in our new community. So we launched it on Facebook Live, and that was nervous. Like, you would think since we are on YouTube, like, oh, it's not nervous, but YouTube, you can edit, you can start over.
Well, now they have YouTube Live too.
Yeah, I know, but it's just a little bit more nerve-wracking. Most of our friends on Facebook do not follow our YouTube. Most of our personal friends, anyway. But it was just nerve-wracking because it was friends that we grew up with and people we know from different places, different employers, different cities, different states, different churches.
And it's not that we don't let them follow us on YouTube. We just didn't really intertwine those two things yet.
I mean, I think we shared it a couple times, but everybody else already knows our family.
Right.
So
right.
They already knew we were moving to Florida. They already got all those updates. And so I just don't think that people are really interested, unless we have lurkers that I don't know about, which is possible, always possible.
Side note, sorry, if you see me looking down at my phone, I promise I'm not texting and driving. We're still new to this area, so...
He's using GPS.
So.
So we paid the money. We launched. Because of the time of year that we launched, we decided that we are reinvesting everything at this point. And the fact that we paid down debt makes it possible to where I don't need an income at this point. Brandon's corporate gig covers us sufficiently. With the lifestyle that we've set up. When we bought our house in Florida, our most recent house out in the country, we shaved off about $50,000 worth of mortgage to get into that house. So it's a little smaller than what we're used to, but we're loving it. We have 4 bedrooms, which the girls sleep together in one room, the boys sleep together in another. They do not want to be split up, so we have an extra bedroom that is now our business's office, and kind of our computer lab for homeschooling sometimes too. And then we've taken over the entire garage for the business and half of our bedroom. The business is quickly growing, and so that's fun, but
still have a huge shed in the back. We have a big backyard, privacy fenced in for the kids.
Screened in lanai.
Yeah, so still plenty big enough, especially in Florida. I mean, in the fall and winter.
We're never in the house anyway.
The kids will be able to play outside safely because it's fenced in. And
yeah. our business has just been, money's been reinvested. And we've been increasing the size of our inventory. We started at about 315 pieces, and right now we're over 400 pieces. We've taken out a little bit here and there for things like date night. I'm trying to think what else. We've invested in furniture and things like that for our business with money we made.
Yeah, racks, I mean, just stuff like that.
Racks.
Things that you need for the business. That
Yeah, hangers, sizers, mannequins, cards, gift certificates, all kinds of stuff. So, it's been fun. It has the potential to be really huge for us, just because of the way we run our life and our determination and our stubbornness, which is kind of nerve-wracking and exciting and humbling all together at once, I guess you could say. So that's that. And when people are like, "Oh, you live in Florida, you must go to the beach all the time," we're like, "No, we live in the we live in the sticks." We tell people we live where there's cows and palm trees. We do not have beaches here, just because of where we are in the state. We do have storms from hurricanes, though. We found that out rather quickly. So, I'm trying to think what else. We're still homeschooling. We have, all the kids are a year older now, so they're 13, 10, 7, 6, and 4. We're not doing classical conversations anymore. We left mid-year due to a poorly run campus, and some risky decisions and choices that were being made that we didn't agree with as far as safety of our children. You guys may remember that Isaiah was exposed to peanuts at classical conversations, and so we were just not happy with the way things were going after that, some policies and things. We haven't bothered to look into another campus because part of what we weren't happy with is a corporate decision. So we do our own thing now, just like we did all the years before. And that's the thing, is like, some of these co-ops play on the fact that you're not a professional educator, or you are an unsure homeschooling mom, or unsure homeschooling parent, or that being in a co-op gives your homeschool more credibility and things like that. And we homeschooled for 7 years before we ever were in a co-op, so that amount of control just was not had over our family and our decisions, and so it was very easy to walk away from for us. We, in the process, lost a lot of friends from our co-op, and that was eye-opening. But at the end of the day, if they're not your friends because you're not doing everything exactly the way that they choose to do their life, then you're not friends anyway.
Very true.
Not true friends. Like, I should not have to go to the same church. My kids should not have to use the same homeschooling curriculum. We should not have to wear the same brands. What I decide is good for my kids, my friends don't necessarily have to agree with for their kids, and things like that. And so we just were not easily swayed. And I think that's part of why we homeschool, is because we want our children to be able to stick with our morals, our thoughts, the religious training that we provide for our children. I mean, of course we want them to be free thinkers, but we want to have more say. So I will talk to you in a little bit. Bye.